Good morning, this is Sarah, your healthy carnivore in the UK. Taking you around the lake just to see that, just to show you that sometimes we get sun in the UK. And we get blue sky sometimes. Today I'm going to talk about the big deal that is the carnivore diet. What is the big deal about it? I'm going to talk about some positive things, some amazing things, and also some things we have to work through. Some people might call that as being negative, but I think there are some things humans have to work through to become a permanent carnivore. I'm going to have the sun right on my face today, which means you're going to see all my lines, and I don't care. I'm 49 in a couple of days. I'm allowed to have some battle scars, right? Yeah, here we're going to see the boats, and today we're going to see them in the sunshine. So let's get straight into this. If you don't know me, I've been in the carnivore space for 10 years, found it in 2014, and then back in the spring I decided to change my life around so that I could make the ultimate commitment, and then on the 22nd of July committed to being carnivore forever, and haven't put a foot wrong ever since, which is amazing for a ditherer like me. So what is it about the carnivore diet? I can't even see myself, by the way, so if I'm not in shot, I do apologise, just keep listening. Maybe this could be a podcast rather than a video, because I've got no idea what you can see. I'm just enjoying the fact that I can see the sunshine, and I'm going to be having a really good look at that in a minute. So let's talk about the big deal. Why is carnivore so amazing, for a start? Because it is a big deal. When you've been in the space as long as I have, and this won't be as much of any shock to anyone, but we've seen people heal from stuff you're not supposed to be able to heal from. It's not that much of a stretch of the imagination that you can heal gut problems. Though, try and tell anyone with Crohn's, IBD or gastritis that they can heal with the carnivore diet, and you'll either be laughed at, eyes glazed over, or just completely blocked and banned from the Facebook group that you've just found yourself in. And I'm sure most of you can relate to that. I've been thrown out of gut problem groups myself for being so silly. But it is a big stretch of the imagination to consider that arthritis or anxiety and depression and plantar fasciitis and eye problems and ear problems and tinnitus and autoimmune conditions like Raynaud's and things like that could possibly be caused by food. And so we find we're healing from things that you just can't heal from. In this modern world, we've got a lot of people wandering around with things wrong with them, and then they do the carnivore diet and they're better. And you want to tell all your friends, and you want to tell all your work colleagues and your family, and are they interested? Sadly not. Once again, apologies, I cannot see my screen. I don't know what I'm filming. But I do know that I'm showing you the lake. Let's just see that beautiful sunshine and blue sky. But there are many facets to the carnivore lifestyle. And when we've found it, we want to tell everyone. And this is where the problem is. This is the first frustration. Because we are then heartbroken to see other people suffering and knowing they're not listening to us. That's heartbreaking, and that is a downside. It is a big deal that we've been lied to for decades about meat, because everyone knows, don't they? Everyone knows that red meat is the villain, don't they? So when you tell them that they could heal an autoimmune condition, or you could try and save them from having a hip replaced just by eating the one food that we all know is the massive villain. They know, don't they? They know red meat's dangerous. So we're getting nowhere. But then some of us, sometimes it can take months, sometimes it can take years. For some people, it's just on day one. We've made that commitment. We want to be carnivore for the rest of our life because it's clearly right. I've healed 20 different things. I've healed something that I was on the cusp of surgery for. I've healed something that I was about to get that I was on constant medication for, and I want to be carnivore forever. Now that, in my opinion, is the moment where, for most people, the problem's actually not problems. This is where the mental game begins. This is where we have to really up our mental game. We all know that one. We all know those small handful of carnivores that just did it. They did it on day one. We all know those people. It's great that they could do it. I wish I was that person. I've spent 10 years wishing I was that person, so I'm not having a go at them. I'm just jealous of them. They found it. They lost all the weight they wanted to super quick. All their health problems went away. Their life setup meant that there was absolutely no obstacles in them doing it. Possibly live with other carnivores, possibly just work from home on their own, perhaps. Maybe they're young. I know some young lads in their 20s and 30s that are living on their own, and their work and home environment just is set up perfectly for them. And they think that people like me are probably pathetic, and that's fine. That's fine. I've called myself pathetic, so it's fine. And so we've got things to work through. And I believe there are more people that have struggled than haven't, in my personal opinion. That is my opinion. And I think if you're following this channel, a lot of people following this channel will agree with me that I had a comment the other day. Well, if carnivore was natural for you, if it was your natural, correct diet, you wouldn't struggle. And I got what they meant. But we've moved on. We've moved on as a society to where variety is the thing. Let's get variety. 35 different flavours of Cheerios alone. Who wants to just eat meat when there's all these interesting flavours? And of course we all know that red meat is the villain, don't we? And it's just been Christmas. That's interesting, isn't it? I live with 3 people who wanted a lot of variety. Even my keto-driven son wanted a lot of variety. And I had to prepare a lot of different foods. My youngest son, total variety. My husband is very, very savoury, but still wants all the things. And my keto child, I don't think he would have wanted to just eat steak. He wanted to have as many keto treats as possible, which is fine. So I had to work through that. And it wasn't fun, but I did it. But social life. I know that Mitch, Old Guy Carnivore, talks about the carb addiction and the sugar addiction a lot. And he is absolutely correct, by the way. This is something we need to work through. But I think there's something bigger. And that's the social side. Humans are real tribal creatures. Humans, we pack together. Okay, it's quite nice to have a day of me time sometimes. It's quite nice to... I don't have a lot of me time, and when I do, I celebrate it. But I wouldn't want to be on my own all the time. And humans are better off in groups, especially when those groups think the same and feel the same and love each other. But what if those people that you love, like your family, don't want anything to do with the carnivore diet? When I very first found it, there was a lot of battle and tension in the house. These days, they've kind of given up and accept me and know I want to do well and are leaving me alone to get on with it, which is lovely. But in the beginning, there were trials and tribulations over where we were going to get a takeaway, and was the meat going to be coated in batter and deep fried, or was it going to be cooked in tallow? Big battles. And it's not nice when you've got battles with the people you love over how you want to eat. We are tribal creatures, and we like to do the same things. And at Christmas, that really ramps up. And I completely and utterly sympathise and empathise and support anyone who did fall off the carnivore train at Christmas, because I actually found Christmas a little bit miserable this year because I tried to pigeonhole myself into a really tiny box where I was just eating beef, and it did actually end up just getting a bit too much for me. There is a gentleman walking towards me now, so I'm just going to keep shining my camera on the lake and allow the man to walk past in a moment. So if I stop talking, that's why. And I don't think I think the carnivore diet is underestimated in so many different ways. And I think the fact that we are social outcasts. I've even lost friends over this. I think about Dante from Perigno Freedom, who said no one wants to invite you out when you're that pain in the arse who can't eat anything off the menu. It's difficult. It's annoying. Who wants to socialise with the person that can't eat everything on the menu? That's not fun. I've basically declared a cancellation of my whole social life for 12 months, for that full 365 days. I've got 199 days to go on that. I'm really proud of it, but it's not been a complete and utter walk in the park. But that's okay, because I've made that commitment to be carnivore. And the thing is, if you want to be carnivore forever, these things you have to work through. So this video isn't to try and put you off. I'm going to sound a bit like Mitch now and say, this video isn't to put people off. It's to let you know what's coming, let you know what commitment you're looking at. But then let's focus on Mitch now from Old Guide Carnivore and talk about the whole sugar and carb addiction. That takes a long time to go away completely. Yes, it dies down fast. In the first week, because you're eating just meat, you're not having the same cravings, but that longing, that wanting to eat what everyone else is eating, can take actually a really long time. I'm getting close to 6 months now, and I still see some of those foods and they look good to me. I'm still looking forward to that point where I can see those foods and they don't bother me anymore. I'm not there yet. I'm not going to allow myself to go out and socialise food-wise with people until that's completely gone away. But then, let's talk a bit further into that sugar and carb addiction. That is something that's biologically put into us. Wanting to eat sugar and carbs is actually something that we are biologically driven to do. If we weren't biologically driven to do that, we would not even be here. But the trouble is, our bodies haven't caught up with normal life. When you're living in the developed world where you've got a drive-through and a grocery store on every corner, your body doesn't know that. Your body doesn't know that now food is available in absolute unlimited quantities whenever you need it. But your natural driven biology, it still wants you to go and find those foods. And so I think this is why it takes a whole year to kill carb addiction, in my opinion. Because I think you have to go through all of the seasons to tell your body that food is always available. I'm hoping this makes sense to somebody. This is something that I've just been toying over recently. When Mitch said that about 12 months in, the desire to eat all those foods just completely goes away. It looks like it's some kind of food for another species. And my thoughts on that is that I think we have to go through an entire calendar year, a full 12 months of all 4 seasons, for the body to say, yes, there is food available. There is food available for me all the seasons, all the time. I don't need to panic. When it comes to summer and there's fruit around, I don't need to go binging on it to fatten myself up for the winter, because there seems to be food coming in to my body every single day that my body loves. Hoping you're enjoying the sun this morning on my video. Hoping you're getting it where you are. But yes, Actually, I think I just had an epiphany all by myself there, just thinking about that, and I think it makes sense. And so this is why I've called a halt to my, called a stop to my social life for the next 365 days, so that I can complete that full calendar year. And I am hoping, with every sense of my being, that when I get to that 365 days, the foods that everybody eats, the hyper-processed foods that are made to be delicious on purpose, I'm hoping that all those things just look like food from another species for me. So yeah, carnivore diet is a big deal. It's an incredible healing diet. It's something that is absolutely, it appears, and I just haven't seen any evidence to the contrary, that eating a heavily meat-based, even if you don't eat 100% meat, eating lots and lots of animal fat and animal protein it appears to be incredibly essential and not an optional choice for humans. But trying to get other people interested is the tricky bit. And one of my frustrations is, obviously, I've only lost 16 pounds in 166 days. So people aren't interested in me yet because I'm still carrying weight around. But that will change. But like Mitch said at OK Carnivore, this video isn't to try and put people off. It's to try and make people understand that if we are going to make that commitment that we are carnivore forever, there are some mental battles that we may have to work through. And we need 3 things to get us there. We need a strong why. We need community, we need family. This is why we're on YouTube and Facebook groups so much, because we need to talk to other people who are doing it. And we also need to do that research to make sure that we understand why we're doing it. Why would anyone do that? Why would anyone do that? Why would anyone throw their social life away potentially? Why would anyone potentially lose friends? We are crazy sometimes. It is a shame that our human plate of food that we now eat has become so far away from what is actually natural that now, if somebody wants to eat this way, it's difficult for us. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame that eating deep fried birthday cake and Fruit Loops in moderation is okay. But to eat any amount of red meat is dangerous. What a shame it's come to that. It is disappointing, but it is the way it is. I'm trying to get the sun to get into my eyes, which means shining the video this way. I've got no idea what you can see. But this video, my channel might be a lot of things, but professional it will never be. But I was just, and this, the thumbnail for this video is going to be entitled, Carnivore is a big deal. Positives and negatives. And when I say negatives, it's what we have to work through. And then on the 22nd of July in 2024, I made the commitment I was going to do 365 days of carnivore no matter what. Whether I go on some super mega binge on 366 days remains to be seen. But I have committed to that 1 year, and we shall see how it goes. I do love a quote from Mitch though in Old Guy Carnivore. I'm going to bring him up again. I love it when he says, if you have managed to complete 6 months of carnivore without a hitch, you can consider yourself absolutely correct. Just going to press pause as I walk past somebody else. And Mitch did say, and he's been trying to coach and help a lot of people. He said a lot of people have joined his YouTube channel and then made big declarations and dropped out. That just makes me want to do this even more. This makes me want to take this seriously even more, because he needs to see that there are success stories on his channel. I think this is ice. Yeah, there's some. I'm glad I looked down when I did. You don't want to be falling over on camera. There's not a lot of money in it these days. He said, if you've been doing this for 6 months straight without a single hitch, you're in a really rare club. And I think he's actually right. Because the number of people that have attempted carnivore is already a minority in this world. I'm hastened to use the word minority because sometimes the word minority can conjure up issues, but we are a small group. And then go into that group and find the number of people that have done 6 months without a single hitch, and that's an even smaller group. And I'm excited about sending Mitch a message to say, I made it into my 6-month club. Do I get a t-shirt? Probably not going to get a t-shirt. I did ask him once if he was going to hand out t-shirts to those that had made it to the 6-month club. He said he'd think about it, but I think he was just joking. I don't watch his channel as much now because I think for him, the things he talk about do mostly apply to the first sort of 2, 3, 4, 5 months where you are trying to kill that urge to eat those things and riding that out. But it's still a daily battle. It's still going to be an ongoing battle. Every day I still do have to say to myself, things like, protect your peace, you are safe, you can do this, you are going to be carnivore forever, you're never going back, you are going to look amazing in time. I think it's safe to say that if I was walking around in the bikini now, I wouldn't have time to make videos. I would just be probably just going into shops constantly, trying things on, looking at myself in the mirror, trying to get used to this new image, because I've never been slim. I've never been slim enough to wear a bikini ever once in my life. So it's going to be really interesting when it eventually happens, and it will do, because going back is too hard. And I think that's when you hit your point. And that is when carnivore does become the big deal. When not doing it scares you. When not doing it is disappointing, frustrating, a bit scary. The older you get, when you know about carnivore and you know it's a thing, the older you get, the more scary it is to not be doing it. And then all of a sudden, the thought of that is just too much, and then it becomes your time, and then you're doing it, and doing it forever, as it turns out. Will I go on a binge at day 366? I hope not, but it's an option for me. It's there, it's available for me if I choose it. I'm so glad I came out today. It would have been so much easier just to make a video in the car, because I had to scrape the car from ice and it took ages. But I did say to you that when there was a really beautiful sunny day with blue sky, I was going to come out and find it. So yeah, it's been a really lovely, peaceful walk. Don't really want to go home, but I will have to at some point. Can't stay here all day and all night, even though it's beautiful this morning. So yeah, I'm kind of just waffling now. I think I've made the point. You know, carnivore diet is a big deal. It is a big deal, really. And the things we have to work through mentally to get to that place where these high profile carnivores are is a big deal for some of us. Some of us do need coaching. Some of us do need extra help. I mean, when Kerry from Homestead How first found his journey, he was just so into it that he was kind of, why would anyone need coaching? He said this himself. He has said this himself. He has calmed down a bit from that view now and admits that there are some people that just have so many battles to go through to get there that they do need coaching, they do need support, they do need online community support. I love Jen, by the way. When I watch the members only live on Homestead How, I'm only there for Jen because I think she's absolutely brilliant. But I think we're just waffling now. I think we're just waffling at this point. So I'm going to go home, create a little thumbnail, watch this back, see if any of it made any sense. But I'm not going to, it's very unlikely that I'm going to edit it because I think it should just go out raw. Talking of raw, maybe I should start eating some raw meat. That's another day. That is another day. I'd like to invite you to enjoy your day. Wherever you are, if you've got some sun, go and get it. If you've got some meat, eat it. If you've got some water, drink it. Protect your peace. I'm going to start adding that now. I'm going to tell Carnivore Odyssey that she's inspired me to add that to my videos because I think it's so super important. I had to drop lion diet to protect my peace. But it's a beautiful day and I'm going to sign out now. So I've waffled long enough. So take care of yourself. And I will see you tomorrow on day 167. I'm also going to be appearing on the Christy from Meeting Wellness channel tomorrow, and then my birthday live on Sunday night if you happen to still be here. Take care and thank you for listening. Bye.